We're going to look at another example of multiplying matrices. This time I'm going to move a little bit faster. So remember, the first thing you want to do is check the dimensions. This is 3 rows by 2 columns. This is 2 rows by 3 columns. The inside numbers match up, so it is possible to multiply the two. And the result is going to be a 3 by 3. So in the first step, I'm going to just mark out, I know there needs to be 3 rows and 3 columns. And I'm going to label each spot. This is row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2, and row 1, column 3. Now we're in row 2, column 1. So now I'm going to make the same thing again, but my spot's a little bit longer for the numbers. Remember, the first one, we're always looking at the rows. Second one, we're always looking at the columns. So the first spot, we have row 1, column 1. Row 1 with column 1. 0 times 1 is 0. And then move down the row and down the column. Plus -5 times 5 is -25. In the last video, we had another number that we had to go to, but this is where our matrices end, so we're done with that spot. Now we have row 1, column 2. So same row for the first matrix, but now we're in column 2. 0 times -3 is 0, plus -5 times 8 is -40. Now row 1, column 3. Row 1 with column 3. First one's 0 times 2 is 0, -5 times 6 is -30. Now we're in row 2, column 1. So row 2 with column 1. First one's 1 times 1 is 1, plus 2 times 5 is 10. Row 2, column 2. Same row, now column 2. 1 times -3 is -3, plus 2 times 8 is 16. And then finally, row 2, column 3. Row 2 with column 3. First one in the spot, 1 times 2 is 2, plus 2 times 6 is 12. Now we're just looking at the last row, row 3 with column 1. So row 3, column 1. And then row 3, column 3. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 times 6 is 6. And then we can simplify each one. -1, 12. One thing to notice, so in the last video, we multiplied those same matrices, but in the opposite order. Notice our answers are two different things. So when you multiply two numbers, like 2 and 3, it doesn't matter the order. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. But with matrices, the order does matter. So don't ever switch the order that the question's asking it for. And then one last example, we have 3 rows by 2 columns here. And this one is also 3 rows by 2 columns. Inside numbers don't match up, so this one would just not be possible.